Yes. And slip you some Boogie We Willeth for the Fringe FM. Coming at you live from the middle of nowhere, the center of everywhere, here once again to give you yet another scrumtrelescent dose of conversational boogie. This is, oh yeah, Shift Habits. Do follow us on Twitter at Shift Habits Pod. You can also follow me, Gigi, over at GGRabbit1 on Twitter. And that's right, folks. We've got another evening of Talking Shift, where we open up the phone lines and just kind of hang out and have a night. So that's what we're doing tonight. JP could not make it tonight. He's got some life stuff going on, so he won't be here. Also, no Brad, doing family stuff. Couldn't quite make it. So it's just me and our special guest, which we will get to in just a second here. Actually, let's see. Let me do a thing here. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Get that nice and pulled up here. All right. There we go. Hey, what's up, MJ? What's up, Pat Elfman? Russ Bailey, Dragon Rose, Casper Parks hanging out in the chat room. What's happening, guys? Good to see ya. And, yes, we're going to open up the phone lines tonight, MJ. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, okay, so we're still waiting for the network to pick us up. Who's doing the phone lines? I'm doing the phone lines, and they're going to work. Believe you me. Believe you me. They're going to work. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. And, yeah, we'll open up the phones in just a little bit here. And we'll keep the phone lines open all night. And, yeah, it could. Well, it could, but it's not. It's going to work. It's going to work. And, what was I going to say? But, yeah, if you do want to call in, you can just call in, make a couple of quick comments, or ask a couple of questions, or you can hang out for the whole show. Whatever you want to do. It's Talking Shift, so that's what the deal is. And all right, we are now live on the Fringe FM. So let me click a thing over here. Bing, bam, boom. There we go. All right, now I can stop paying attention to that and get on with the show. So yeah. So if anybody wants to call in, like I said, feel free to hang out as long as you want. Or jump in and jump out, or whatever the situation may be. And, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we're going to introduce tonight's partner in crime for our Talking Shift episode. You know him as the guerrilla novelist, certainly no stranger to this show, the one and only Casper Parks. What's happening, my friend?
Hello, and hello to everybody in chat. I know it's holiday weekend in the United States. I don't know about other countries. So I know we're kind of down a little bit on the chat numbers there, but hello to everybody in chat. And Gigi, all mentioned your names earlier, so I'll skip that. We're doing pretty good on TalkStream Live. We're at number 5 right now, so it's cool.
Right on.
Yeah, it's been a crazy spring. It's been unusually cold, a lot of wet here. Henry the dog, people are following me on Twitter know that he's not doing well. The prognosis is not good. He's at maybe lung capacity is way down. He's on meds, so he's not coughing. He's coughing up blood last week about the size of, not as big as my fist, but the width of a fist, like several times an hour. It's terrible. He's still hacking, but the blood he coughs up now is rare. It's like the size of a thumbnail. But I got him on a bunch of meds and everything else, and I'm just hoping he can hold on until my nephew gets home, because he travels for work and it's his house, it's his dog. So, but he doesn't seem to be in any pain. So, we're kind of happy with that. But excuse me. So yeah, let's do a little science fiction. Okay, so May 31st, the CW is starting a new series, Tom Swift, which is based on the novels. They're novelettes, really. They're short books for juveniles or children. Like grade school, junior high, middle school, high school. Originally published in 1910. I'm looking at Wikipedia for that. The creator was publishing was different back then. The creator was Edward Stratmeyer. Then they used ghostwriters, and they wrote under the name of Victor Appleton. And then later when they redid it, they did the author as Victor Appleton too. But the original series ran from 1910 to 1941. Then it ran again from 1954 to 1971, which is where I would have read it. And then it ran again in 81 to 84, and then 91 to 93, 2006 to 2007, the fifth series. And the sixth series started in 2019. There's been several attempts over the decades, or millennia at this point, or millennia, but a century, to make a television series and or film out of it, and nothing really went through. But now it is. But it looks like they're breaking with it because in the books, Tom Swift Jr. is a teenage child inventor, and there's like motorcycles and spaceships and all kinds of stuff. And when I was a kid, especially like late grade school, early junior high, it was like the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Tom Swift. So that's interesting. But that starts to air on May 31st on the CW. The thing on the CW, what they've been doing, like the Superman and Lois, they'll like run 3 or 4 episodes, and then they'll have a hiatus, and they'll run another 2 or 3 or 4 episodes, have a hiatus, and go back. But still the same season. I really hate it when they do that.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the cast. But it looks like the actor in this is probably in his mid-late 20s or 30s. So they went away from the teenager on it. And that might be because of cost, because it costs more money to have teenagers on a set than it does an adult. Silver Point, which is a UK television series on the BBC, which is now on Hulu in the United States. All 13 episodes are about 22 minutes an episode. It's geared toward late grade school, middle school, high school age. Give it a few episodes. Give it like 3 or 4 episodes, and then it really kicks up. And kids encounter an alien artifact or rock near your summer camp, and then things go crazy. It's really, really good. A lot of twists and turns, and they actually managed to surprise me. I'm a writer. It's difficult to surprise me with a twist or turn in anything because I write.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and they actually managed to surprise me a couple times in there. So, but I highly recommend it. It's a good series. And again, it's on Hulu in the U.S. and then BBC and the UK. So, but I would really, really recommend it. I really enjoyed that series.
Yeah.
Some 3 episodes into on Paramount Plus, Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. So far, it's okay. The writing and directing and filming and everything feels more like the original Star Trek series from the 1960s. Just the feel of it.
Okay.
Just the structure of the stories. It's not like one ongoing story like with Star Trek Discovery or Picard. It's the whole series is about one event. This one here, it's more like, each episode is a different story. It's the same characters, and there may be some things continuing from with the characters' relationships with each other, and some subplots that might be carrying from one episode to another. It's basically a new story each time. Like a different planet.
Yeah.
Hence Strange New Worlds. And so far I think it's pretty good. It's like any new series. You got to give it time for the actors, the directors, and writers to get their footing. But it's doing really good. It's real popular. So It's doing really good. Halo ran 9 seasons, and I see a lot of flack on social media over it, but because he takes his helmet off. But I don't know much about the game, but I thought the series was well written, and I thought it was well directed. I thought it was really fairly decent. And Russ Bailey says he's liking Strange New World so far. So, but yeah, it was pretty good. I am halfway through, or Obi-Wan Kenobi aired today, the first 2 episodes on Disney Plus. I'm halfway through the second episode, and it's okay so far. I mean, I'm only an episode and a half in, so I can't really judge it yet. I bet anything that's got spaceships in it in the alien world, so I'm there, unless it really is terrible. Like Farscape, I could never get into Farscape. I tried. Doctor Who, I could never get into Doctor Who either. I just didn't enjoy Doctor Who. But yeah, so but Obi-Wan Kenobi looks, so far it seems okay. These shows can't be cheap. I mean, you get actors like that, they got to be either taking a huge cut in pay to do those series like that. Like, they got the actor did Loki, but they ended it where it really needs another episode on Loki. So, that was really kind of, So, but someone in chat has a sci-fi thing that's on television right now, or film. You want me to comment on it? Throw it in the comments so that Gigi and I can see it. I have not seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse yet. I'm going to wait for that to hit Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for that to come home as well. And but you know what? What show that has a new season coming out that I am so excited about, easily one of my top 5 modern TV shows, is next week, I think it's either Wednesday or Thursday, the season 3 premiere, finally, of The Orville.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I went and rewatched the last episode from last season on Hulu earlier this week, just so I could catch up.
Yeah, and I think I'm really curious to see how they pick up from that, and also I don't think I think it's just going to be on Hulu. I don't think season 3 got picked up by Fox, did it?
No, it's just on Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Russ Bailey's right though. In com, he's got watch WandaVision on Disney Plus before you see Doctor Strange. I've heard that. Yeah, and I would recommend that. But yeah, the Orville finally looks like it's coming back around.
Dude,
which I'm glad.
Yeah, because it's been 2 or 3 years since
season pandemic
2?
shut it down.
Yeah, and
it got canceled off Fox and got picked up on Hulu. So there was that delay, and then you had the pandemic delay, and everything else. So
just
a show like that's not cheap to make.
What a great show! I mean, if you guys listening have not seen The Orville, it's certainly Seth MacFarlane's best work out of anything he's done, I think. And
I didn't like his, was it 1,000 Ways to Die in the West or whatever it was? I didn't care for that. No.
Yeah, I never caught that, actually.
Yeah, it's a little vile.
Yeah.
A little too raunchy for me. So Winnie the Pooh went to public domain. It's at 50 years, I think it is, after the author dies, or creator, with the exception of Disney, because they've got a special thing passed through Congress. They're talking about trying to revoke that, but that ain't going to happen.
Right.
Where the copyrights become public domain, and Winnie the Pooh became public domain in January. So some people went out and made a slasher film, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I'm like, leave Winnie the Pooh alone. Apparently Christopher Robin goes out to college, stops feeding Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, and Winnie the Pooh and Piglet go feral. It's like, oh my word, please. Leave Winnie the Pooh alone. My word, come on, people. I just, man, leave Winnie the Pooh alone. Leave Winnie alone. Leave him alone. I don't know if it was Disney or Paramount. I think it was Disney is losing money right now in streaming. But I don't know, man. They're going to get all that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. We'll stay away from that politic thing of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think they'll do okay because it's like $80 for the year right now for Disney, which is cheap compared to the other streaming services. I mean, Stranger Things, the first 7 episodes, and I don't know how many episodes they have of Stranger Things for season 4, but that just was released today. So that's up there. And that's on my thing to watch for the weekend as well.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
I don't think I ever even saw season 3. I think I've only seen the first 2. But
yeah, well, the whole thing with Stranger Things started with remote viewing. You know, because when she was remote viewing, 11, that's the character's name.
Yeah.
When she was remote viewing, she was stepping through another dimension or portal, which opened us up to the Stranger Things and what do they call it? Upside down world, where everything's all kind of different.
Right.
It's all like ash and everything's all ruined, and now those creatures are trying to come to our dimension. But the whole thing about that is when back in the I don't know, was it 70s or 80s in Marvel Comics, they did a couple of comics where Nightcrawler was teleporting, and when he teleports, he's actually stepping between dimensions, but he didn't realize that's what he was doing. And then for 1 or 2 comics, he kind of got caught in that dimension he was jumping between. So, but that's a teleportation thing. So it's no different than remote viewing. You know,
Yeah.
UAP Task Force. I suppose you should touch base on that real quick, huh?
Okay. Yeah.
So we just had the hearings.
Yeah. Did you watch the hearing?
Yeah, I watched it, Christina Gomez's YouTube Live when they had it going.
Yeah.
I happened to get up early enough to take some of my meds and eat a couple pieces of toast with it, and so I was up for that whole thing. It was interesting that they entered the Wilson documents into the official record. That doesn't mean that they're acknowledged as being real, you know, and verified, but, you know, at least they got entered into the record, which was cool. That tells me that the fact that they knew about the Wilson documents, the politicians,
Yeah.
that somebody's talking to somebody. You know, I mean, they're actually paying attention to the UFO community at large, UFO UAP community. I go back to what I said the last time I was on the show. Actually, I said this in 2016, so I've been saying this for years. At this point, that if the 2016 election was rigged, and that's if, it was to keep Hillary Clinton out of office because she kept talking about declassifying Roswell. And we got the UAP task force as a consolation prize. So it's just a theory. Doesn't mean it's true or not true. Doesn't mean the election was rigged or wasn't rigged, you know. But if it was, that would have been the primary reason, I think. But the UAP task force, it would be interesting to see what they did behind closed doors, you know.
Yeah, I want to know what went on during the closed sessions.
Did they mention MJ-12 or Majestic 12 during the open hearing? I don't remember that.
I think they did, not in the first one that happened like a week or so ago, but I'm not sure. I didn't catch, because didn't they had another hearing like yesterday or something, or
really?
A couple of days before. I think, I don't know, I could be completely wrong about that. Maybe I'm thinking of the closed hearing, but they did bring up Project Blue Book, but they didn't bring up MJ-12, and
I was in high school and they discontinued that, supposedly.
And but there were several interesting parts of the hearing. I think overall the hearing was a lot of good questions were asked from both sides. Yeah. It wasn't just a bunch of bogus like I thought it was going to be. Like, it was a legitimate hearing on this subject. The only thing that was bogus was the footage that they showed. I mean,
they weren't ready for that.
I mean, it's like, dude, they have so much better footage. The Tic Tac, Nimitz, the gimbal video, something, and they showed this bitch ass footage from the side of an airplane, and
it wasn't even queued up. It wasn't even queued up where it needed to be.
Yeah,
They didn't have
wasted
stills
like
all set aside.
they wasted like 7 minutes trying to queue up the video. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they should have had stills ready and everything, and they didn't. So,
Yeah.
am I echoing it? Somebody in chat let me know if there's an echo when I'm talking.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They should have had that all queued up and ready. They should have had stills and everything ready to go. And I will say that Majak 12 is real. It was real. Always was. Has been. Period. I'm positive it's real. But I'd kind of like to see if they bring that up in the next hearing or two. That would be cool. But
Yeah.
I don't know when the next hearing is, Gigi. Do you?
I'm not sure. I know they already did the closed hearing. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure when the next public one is. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be soon or if it's going to be another 6 months or so.
Okay.
But yeah, I would highly recommend if you're even just remotely interested in the UFO phenomenon, how the government is handling it, and how the UAP task force in particular are handling it. And it's definitely worth a watch. It's about an hour and a half long, but it's very historic.
Yes.
It's the first time in 50 years that the government has had a hearing on this subject, and who knows, it could be another 50. I mean, I doubt it's going to be because it's so.
And we in the community here, communities plural, have put up with so much grifters and drifters and BS and everything else for so many decades that all of a sudden all those people are kind of like gone off to whatever. I'm kind of glad they're not in the limelight anymore. So now we're getting down to the nuts and bolts of the hard science and stuff, hopefully. But like I said, if we do get an official disclosure out of the hearings, which I don't think we will for a while, it'll probably be laced with lies and deceit. And be a partial disclosure, and that's still a step forward. So, in my opinion, we got a break in about 1 minute?
Yeah, about a minute and a half.
Oh.
And hey, what's up, Daryl? Welcome to the chat. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see
Oh,
you.
don't forget, you can follow me and Gigi both on Twitter. It's Shit Happens Pod on Twitter, isn't it?
Yep.
And then Gigi Rabbit on Twitter, and then Casper Parks on Twitter. I'm pretty easy to find on there. Don't be afraid to follow me or him on there. If you hear something, that we say on here, don't be afraid to make a mime. I don't want to say mime isn't making fun of us, but I'll see this with Stephen King all the time, where they're like, put a picture of Stephen King up there and some quote that he said about whatever issue is on his mind. Stephen King can say what he wants. Do that with don't be afraid to do that for me or for anybody else. And, because name recognition is important in this business. You don't make money selling books, okay? You don't. You don't. So go to CasperParks.com, and you got links there for my books and everything else. And we're 30 seconds from a break, Gigi, I think.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take it. When we get back, folks, we'll go ahead and open up the phone lines. If anybody wants to call in, you don't even need to have a question or anything in particular. If you just want to hang out with us, come on in, hang out. Hang around the campfire with us, the proverbial campfire. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Shift Happens here for the Fringe FM. I'm your host, Gigi, along with our guest tonight, my partner in crime for Talking Shift, Casper Parks. And we'll be back here in just a few short commercially minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Listen, as we explore the mysteries of the universe, the unknown, high strangeness, consciousness, and our human potential. Lighting the Void is an eclectic program that strives to ignite the late night with stimulating conversations. Join us on The Fringe FM.
Yohoy there, it's Gigi from Shift Happens, and you're listening to the one and only Fringe FM. Well, at least I'd imagine so. I'm not sure how else, you'd be hearing this.
Musicians experience a lot of frustration with music marketing and promotion. They have no idea how to get their music heard, and they're spending hours sending emails, making phone calls, and hitting up their friends to promote them. With our industry-powered digital marketing platform, we can set up your media plan in minutes. Our team will automatically distribute your music across all the best channels, so you can focus on actually making the music. Submit your music today on our website at mymusicpromoter.com. That's mymusicpromoter.com.
My name is Alex Exum, and you're listening to The Fringe FM.
Are you avoiding the media? I don't blame you. Hi, I'm Jess Rogie, and it's my job to sift through the BS to find you the best in Fringe news. Listen to the Rogie Report news here on The Fringe FM, KTLK Digital Broadcasting. The truth is out there, and so are we.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Have you suffered in silence or experienced stress from a paranormal experience? Even if it happened 20 years ago, when thinking or talking about it today still makes you feel sick to your stomach or makes your heart beat faster, or you suddenly can't breathe. Maybe you even feel those old familiar signs of a panic attack trying to reach the surface. You could have unprocessed emotional responses. Those reactions of terror and trauma are no different than living through a horrible assault, childhood abuse, or a terrible car accident. It can be nearly impossible to find help. The very instance of seeing a ghost or encountering a cryptid could be clinically described as seeing or hearing things that aren't there. You could be considered psychotic, or at best, you're just not taken seriously. Out of a growing mountain of research, the National Institute for Integrative Healthcare showed that 8 out of 10 veterans who completed just 6 one-hour EFT sessions no longer tested positive for PTSD. If you've had paranormal trauma, you can contact Metaphorical Archaeology by calling 214-995-3754. Again, that's 214-995-3754. For a discreet consultation. Thousands of people are having paranormal experiences with ghosts, demons, shadow people, dogmen, Bigfoot, and more. Their stories need to be told, and they are being told. Dark Waters, the renowned storyteller, invites you to join at IamDarkWaters.com. For just a few dollars a month, you can listen to some of the most hair-raising and compelling stories on the planet. You'll have access to real-life stories told by Dark Waters, thousands of hours of content. Their encounters are being told, and told by the best, at IamDarkWaters.com. Listen to stories like The Rabbit Man, the Dogman encounter in Silas, Alabama, The Man with No Face, The Other Woman, A Day Ahead of the Devil, Dogman Murder in Hurricane Ida, even a story of someone trying to kill a dogman. Louisiana water demon stories. Sign up today and become a member at IamDarkWaters.com. That's IamDarkWaters.com.
Some rock to take roll up on 180. Island
And we're back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the Fringe FM. This is Shift Happens. I'm your host, Gigi. Welcome back to another evening of Talking Shift. And our special guest host tonight is none other than Casper Parks. And we'll get back to the boogie in just a second. Now, I did post the call-in number in the chat room. I'll give it out live in the air in just a minute here. But real quick, we do want to promote... We have a fundraiser going on for the Fringe FM. It's the Fringe FM fundraiser, keeping the Fringe FM alive and free. If you go to www.fringe.fm, right in the middle of the homepage, you'll see a little banner for the Fringe FM fundraiser, and every little bit helps. And we're trying to keep everything flowing and trying to keep it free so that we don't have to switch to a different business model to where it's not going to be free. That is not something we want to do. So every little bit helps. Fringe.fm, click the fundraiser, even if it's only like 12 cents, even if it's only 1 cent, every little bit helps. So definitely get there while you can status. Now also, JP in the chat room couldn't be here tonight, but he's in the chat room hanging out. And speaking of JP, coming up, I don't know if you, I know some of you guys caught the me and JP were on eTalk TV, and we did that trivia game, which was a whole lot of fun. And the trivia game is coming back, I believe either next week or the week after, and it's going to be Shift Happens versus Beyond the Strange. That's right, me and JP versus Dave and Russ. And that is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. And we'll keep you posted on that. And if you want to keep up with stuff like that, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Shift Happens Pod. You can follow me, Gigi, over at GigiRabbit1. But honestly, I don't really, I don't do a lot of stuff on that account. If you really want to follow me and what I'm doing and what and not only me but the show and what we're doing with the show, you definitely want to follow Shift Happens over at Shift Happens Pod. And so there you go. All right, Russ is already talking about making bets. Dude, I'm ready. I did so good on the first one. I can't wait for the next one. All right, and with that, let's get back to... all right, so you've got Casper Parks here. What's happening, Casper?
Hey, all right, call-in number. Area code's 928-208-4464. That's 928-208-4464. One last time, 928-208-4464. Hopefully we'll try to remember to repeat that as time goes on. Quick shameless self-promotion plug. My new novel from I released last year in June, Accidental Destiny, available print and ebook. You want some shadow government, corporate deep state? You got it. Dash of the Globe Tepe? You got it. Seasons with MK Ultra? You got it. Rock and roll? Let's do the whole entire book. You're going to love it. And I'm working on the sequel right now, so don't forget, if you got the book, please leave a review, or even just give it some stars. It helps with the algorithm. So CastleParks.com for links. So, but yeah, no shame here. Don't make a living off writing books. Trust me. Then it happen. So,
dude.
But anyway, yeah. So if someone has some questions, call in and talk about anything. It's just kind of a last minute deal. So we're going into Memorial Weekend. Remember all the World Awards and everything else. So I am a vet. I did serve in the Navy. So
yeah. And does that mean things are going to be closed on Monday? Is that what that means?
Yeah, I think so. You got a lot of Memorial Day sales going on, but government offices and state are probably definitely closed. Some stores will be closed, some will be open, some will have reduced hours. It kind of depends. I mean, Memorial Day weekend's usually like, there's a parade here or there, and then there's some fireworks some places, and then a lot of families just get together for barbecues and whatnot. So, I don't know if the UK has Memorial Day this weekend in Canada or not, because sometimes they're staggered from us in the United States. So I'm not sure when they have their stuff or not. So, Bosch. Oh, this is okay. IMBD, the app, which is you can get through streaming like Fire Stick or Roku, is owned by Amazon, and they changed their name to Freevee.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Amazon owns IMDb?
Yes.
What?
And they changed the name of the app to Freevee. It's FREEVEE, and it looks like they're trying to bust open a network on the streaming services that are free. It's ad supported. Right now, you can watch like the Marvel Logan on there, which is the last Wolverine thing that they did, where Xavier is an old man dying and Wolverine's not that good of health himself, and they try to rescue a bunch of mutant kids. That's on there. So they got some big film titles on there. Bosch, which was originally on Amazon Prime, ended after so many seasons, but they rebooted it on what used to be IMDb, which is now Freevee, as Bosch Legacy, where Harry Bosch, a detective, was out of the force doing PI work for a lawyer that he didn't like. They're friends now. And his daughter is now not a cadet. She's in training to be an LAPD officer, and so she's in cars and riding around and doing actual law enforcement work. And that's on there. That can't be cheap to make. And plus I got some really big films on there. So I think they're trying to go a different direction. But again, over the next few years, because ATSC 3.0 is available now in most markets, but it's not fully rolled out yet, which is old broadcast TV. And I think the way it's going to operate is you're going to get the signal. When they made the conversion to the current television that we have now, there's no such thing as high-def television, okay? There's no such thing as a high-def antenna. That's a marketing tool. It doesn't exist. The flat antennas are worthless, okay? I got a Clearstream Live I got from my uncle, and it's not too bad. You want to get the one that's got the 2 figure 8s on it, or a bigger antenna. Even the ones that look old school antenna, you need to do the reviews, because some of those antennas look good and they're not. But to get a decent antenna, you're going to drop at least $150. If you mount it outside, make sure you ground it and everything else. But when ATS 3.0 rolls out, like right now you can get, let's say for example, 17.1, 2, 3, and 4. So they have all those sub channels PG on those over the old school over the air. When ATS 3.0 is rolled out, but when it really starts rolling out in the next 5 to 10 years, you can be able to use your cell phone, and there'll be it'll work off the internet, your phone, and old school broadcast TV. So technically, you might not even need to have the internet at your house anymore to stream. It'll send the code to your phone, and your phone will interact with the TV and unlock the subscription services that are available through ATS 3.0, probably in the next 10 years. So whether we'd see Netflix or Disney Plus or anyone else go to that type of streaming service, I doubt it, but they could. But so there'll be a lot of it'll be free, and some of it's going to be streaming where it'll be interfaced with your phone or the internet. So probably more like the phone. So it's so entertainment's changing again, but it's changing again, so so that's rolling out. Don't pay a lot of money for an ATS 3.0 converter box. I mean, when I went into Best Buy, must have been a year ago, and I asked the guy, I did this at Walmart too, I kind of thought, I'm going to test and see what these guys know. So I go through the tech, and is this ATS 3.0 compatible? Yeah, sure it is. I'm like, are you sure? Then I explained what it was, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. I'm like, okay, it's not. But an ATS 3.0 compatible TV is well over $1,000 right now. So I wait, because another 2 or 3 years, the TVs that are going to be ATS 3.0 compatible, the price is going to drop. And the TVs that we have in the market now, whether it's a year or 2 or 3 years from now or 4, all of a sudden you can see all these televisions on sale for ridiculously low prices because they're not ATS 3.0 compatible. And then you're going to have to end up getting a converter box, which is going to cost you $200-$300 to watch the ATS 3.0 signals. But it's supposed to be higher definition, and the broadcast signal is supposed to be stronger than what they are now. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, that'll be, we'll see what happens. Oh, but back to the UAP task force thing.
Yeah.
As time progresses with this whole affair, that's going to really throw a monkey wrench in a lot of science fiction. You think so?
Yeah, I suppose it could. I didn't really think about that.
Oh yeah, it's going to throw a monkey wrench in a bunch of it. So all of a sudden everything's going to change. It'll be like, all right, well, how relevant will something like Star Trek or the Orville or whatever be when we find things are slightly different than what because right now the television shows like that in science fiction, it's our fantasy as a species of what space travel is going to be like. In Star Trek Strange New Worlds, they have one of the actresses from The Expanse in there, and she's a security officer, and it took me, I'm third episode in now, but it took me a while because she has such a unique accent from wherever she's from, and it took me a while to just go, okay, she's an actress. I have to remember, this is not The Expanse, this is Star Trek. She just happened to be in The Expanse, and now she's doing Star Trek. So, it took me a little bit of adjustment on that in my mind, to wrap my head around that. Like, okay, okay. Because she sounds so much like the character because of her accent and acting style as was in The Expanse. But I wish they'd do more of The Expanse because there's another, at least 2 or 3 books from what they did. But it doesn't sound like they're going to do any more of those. But I like The Expanse. I thought it was a great series.
Yeah. One thing that was really cool that I saw that's pretty new, I think it's on HBO. Oh wait, no. It's on Netflix. It's called Return to Space. It's all about Elon Musk and SpaceX and their whole mission to connect with the ISS and all the ins and outs of how that happened and how that worked. Very fascinating stuff. And I thought that was a really cool. It's like a 2-hour long documentary, I guess you would call it. And speaking of good documentaries, completely unrelated. Sorry, I'm ADD, but I got to say this: there's a great George Carlin documentary that just came out on HBO. It's a 2-part documentary, about 4 hours altogether, and man, even if you're just the slightest little fan of George Carlin, or even if you're not, I think anyone would appreciate that documentary. That was absolutely fantastic.
I'd give it a solid thumbs up, man. I watched it.
Yeah. And you've got to give it to HBO, man. They know how to make a documentary.
Oh yeah, they do. And he did those shows on documentary for so long on HBO.
Yeah.
And he got better with age. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, especially
absolutely.
toward the end, where in the last few shows he did, like the American Dream, you got to be asleep to. They call it the American Dream because you got to be asleep to believe it.
Yeah.
And he nails it so he nails it so well. And he passed, I think it was 2008. But he nails. He's more current today than he was then. He was current then. He's even more current today. with his political, with
Yeah,
his take on politics.
That's what
It's
you
just
call timeless. Absolutely timeless.
Yeah. It's amazing. Russ, thanks for posting that link. There's a meteor shower on May 30th, which would be on Monday. So it's a crumbling comet, and we should be able to see some stuff, I guess, on Monday. Not all meteor showers are. He threw a link up in chat there, so from the almanac. And but anyway, so it's like a great documentary, though. I mean, I solid thumbs up on it. I really would recommend it. It's really worth watching, and and you can find a lot of these clips from George Carlin up on YouTube. I'm surprised they don't take a bunch of them down. Where he talks about the American dream and stuff, and it's really worth watching. I mean, he's of my mindset where, the Republican Party died decades ago, and GOP zombies are feeding on the living. The Democratic Party's on life support and ain't looking good. That's kind of, I'd say he'd like that saying right there.
Yeah.
But Carlin really took it. He didn't care. Red hat, blue hat, didn't matter. They're all evil.
Yeah. Man,
they're all evil.
That is one man I wish I could interview on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so diverse, and when he did this, the famous 7 words you can't say. And
certainly 7 words we can't say here. Yeah.
I'll say them. Beep, bop, beep, bop, beep, 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 bop. Anyway, yeah.
Bleep, 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 and bleep.
Yeah, and that got him. He evolved so much over the years. It was really weird. As his brother passed away a day or two, I think it was, before the documentary aired. And his older brother
really?
was in the documentary.
I was wondering when I was watching the documentary. I was like, man, how old is this guy? Okay, so he was that old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just lost Ray Liotta. I was like, wow.
Wait, we did?
Yeah, he passed away this week. He's 67. Died in his sleep while doing a film down, I think, the Bahamas or something.
You mean the guy that was in the same guy that was Goodfellas? Yeah. Wow.
He passed. 67. They didn't release the cause of death. Just he passed in his sleep, natural causes.
Wow, I didn't know he was that old.
Yeah, then we lost a famous musician that was a drummer for a band. I don't know what the band was.
Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, no, not him, another guy.
Oh, okay.
I know about
another drummer.
Hawkins, but yeah. God, I was going to say yes, but I might be wrong about the band. It was all up on Twitter. We lost like 3 famous people. Actor, musician, and then somebody else this week. On top of everything else going on. But yeah, it was Ray Liotta, man. He was a good actor.
Yeah, he was great.
So,
yeah.
He was engaged to my best friend's sister's. Was that right? Excuse me. JP, you're talking about Ray Liotta?
I'm assuming he is. Yeah. I'm assuming he is.
Yeah, I mean, he went through a spat there where people thought he was difficult to work with, but, in the long run, people go through phases in their lives, so, I'm not going to hold up on that one. I mean, there's some actors I don't really... Well, the drummer for Depeche Mode passed, or some musician from that band, is what Pat Breeze is saying. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. It wasn't yes, it was Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode, Depeche, and then Mode, Mode.
Yeah, I never know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Say Depeche.
But yeah, so we're losing a lot. But these people are getting older. I mean, that's a simple fact of life. People are aging. People are aging out. So,
and plus, not even age. I mean, hell, I almost died last year. I'm only 33. So you never know what's up. Hey, what's up? ENS Works over at the Fringe FM chat. Hey, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in.
It says it's Andy Fletch of Depeche Mode. He was 60. That's kind of young. It used to be 60 was old, but now it's kind of young, are getting. It's not young, but it's not old either. But
I mean, hell, just 150 years ago, the average lifespan was like 40, right?
Yeah, 40, 45, something like that.
You know?
Yeah, it was, oh, man, I'd have to ask Ralph Cotton. He's an online friend. I've been doing his website for probably 20, 25 years. RalphCotton.com is a Western author. He was telling me a story. There was somebody in the Western, it's a true story. I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head. He was a real life Western character, that person that was on both sides of the law. You know, sometimes he'd be, sheriff or marshal. Sometimes he'd be an outlaw. A lot of those people back then flipped back and forth. It depends where the money was at the time. But he saw some lights in the sky. I think it was in Arizona, and rode out to investigate the lights in the sky and just vanished in like the late 1800s. I can't think of the guy's name though right now, who it was. But it was a famous Western person in real life that walked both sides of the law, which was fairly common back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've had those UAP sightings for all of human history. So that's just like what it is. And I'm hoping that we get some more discoveries out of Globy Tepe coming up. I think if it's not this year, next year, I think we're going to find another site somewhere like Globy Tepe. They just discovered a site in, I think it was in Mexico somewhere. They were doing construction to build, I don't know if it was like a shopping mall or whatever, but it's a big construction project. And they uncovered a whole Mayan city that they didn't know was there before, like from 4,000 years ago, or something like that. So we're always finding stuff all the time, constantly finding stuff that's new, always. We got another break in about a minute and a half, Gigi. So, now here's the number again, people. So get a pen and paper ready if you want to call in. This is kind of a shoot the breeze thing. 928-208-4464. That's 928-208-4464. It's a call-in number. So we will be taking some calls if you want to call in, or if you got a question, throw it up in chat. I'm not in Fringe FM's chat, but I'm in the Spreaker chat. So if you do a question, put it in caps so we can see it.
Yeah, and for ENS Works, I just posted the direct link to the Spreaker chat room. So what you're going to do is you're going to click that link, and then you're just going to see the chat room. And there you go. It's about that simple. And Scott the Rocker joining us here. And yes, we'll definitely give out the call-in number. Oh, I forgot to. I'm going to have to re-copy and paste that. Let's see. How do we do that? Bing, bam, boom.
I got it.
Can you put...
Yeah, I got it in Spreaker.
Can you post it in Spreaker?
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
928-208-4464.
All right, good deal.
So it's just kind of shoot the breeze things, holiday weekend,
Right.
So...
But we are going to take a commercial break. So if you call during the break, if you're hearing commercials, you are in the right place. Just hang tight. And when we come back on the show, we will bring you on. Let me get my bearings back in order here. Get my ducks back in a row. All right. And where is it? Here it is. All right. Let's go ahead and take our break right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Shift Happens here for the Fringe FM. Yep, there's somebody. You're listening to Shift Happens here for the Fringe FM. I'm your host, Gigi, and we're here with Casper Parks tonight doing another episode of Talking Shift, and we'll be back with our caller in just a few short commercial minutes. Don't go anywhere.
KTLK Digital Broadcasting, thefringe.fm, Napa Valley, California, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Tired of talking about the weather? No, Shift. Well, Shift Happens is here to fulfill your desires as you reach that point in life where you crave tantalizing conversation about reality, ufology, the occult, and the conspiracies within, while simultaneously finding yourself desperately in need of your very own theme music, which we've got plenty of that too. So be sure to tune in to Shift Happens every Friday night from 7 to 9 Pacific, right here on the Fringe FM. Because the weather sucks, and you need some theme music.
Ever seen an extraterrestrial? It can be hard to believe they exist unless you've seen one for yourself. What if I told you I've seen them my whole life, but have never had a witness who shared the encounter with me? Now, what if I told you I saw 4 of them, 2 with blue skin, and there are over 20 witnesses to this CE5 event? My new book, The Blue Beings, Visitation at the UFO Conference, documents actual accounts from real witnesses, many of which have gone on record to attest to this otherworldly reality. Be a part of a quantum paradigm shift that is taking place right now. Go to johnpolkmedia.com to get your copy of The Blue Beings, Visitation at the UFO Conference, on sale right now at johnpolkmedia.com. That's JOHNPOLK media.com.
This is Ronnie LeBlanc, author of Monsterland, Encounters with UFOs, Bigfoot, and Orange Orbs, and you're listening to Shift Happens on KTLK, The Fringe FM.
KTLK Digital Broadcasting. We rock the paranormal talk.
We are back, and so is my cat, jumping in my lap. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the Fringe FM, this is Shift Happens. I'm your host, Gigi, and tonight we're doing another edition of Talking Shift. Okay, my cat is misbehaving. Kitty, get out of here. Get out of here, buddy. All right. And, yes, we are back right here on Shift Happens. Another episode of Talking Shift, and our guest host tonight is Casper Parks. What's happening, Casper?
That's the one at Holders.
All right.
Call the number 928-208-4464. 928-208-4464.
There you go. And we actually have a call on the line, and we will get to them in just a second. Bob Tuscan in the chat room just asked, is this live? He always asks that question, and the answer is always yes. This is live. Absolutely, Bob. This is live. You're live. You can call in if you want. Scroll up and see the call-in number if you want to. And also, welcome Kat. A couple of folks showing up in the Fringe FM Discord chat, including Kat. And hey, what's up, Kat? Good to see you. I guess Kat says she has divorced from Spreaker. I wonder why. Actually, I don't really wonder why. I totally understand that. Pretty much all my friends have divorced Spreaker. And IPD showing up in the speaker chat as well. What's up, IPD? I was just talking to him yesterday. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. And all right, so with that, let's get back to boogie business, and let's get to our current caller, which is area code 618. Who art thou, caller, and why are you calling?
I don't know why I called Gigi. I really don't.
Elfman, what's happening, my friend?
What's up? Hey, if Bob's a time traveler, is this really live?
If you're that's a tough question. I don't know.
I said if Bob was Bob, the one to ask if it was live.
Yeah. Oh, well, probably not then. Yeah, I don't know. But the only time I've ever seen Bob say anything, it's always, is this live? And, well, no, now he said, what's up with the beer belly? Yeah, what is up with the beer belly? I don't know. I got a beer belly, and it sucks. But what can you do, you know?
Can they see us on Discord chat?
No, nobody can see us.
Oh, okay.
He just knows. He just knows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, I have like a beer belly. It's not a beer belly. It's more just being retired and overeating, not getting enough exercise. Well, who's on the phone with us?
Yeah, that'll do it. That's Pat. Yeah, Pat is with us. So what's up, Pat? What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, here's my thought. You know, everybody keeps wanting to dig into the earth to find out civilizations. I've told you this plenty of times before. I think we're wasting time. I think we need to go to the ocean.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
Wasn't it India just a while back? They it was the water started going down a little bit, and they found a whole new city and stuff by them.
Not only that, there's another case where there were back in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Puranas more specifically, they talked about a very specific city that was off the current coast of some part of India, and these group of college students were trying to get permission to go scuba dive and excavate to try to find it, and they kept getting denied. So they funded their own project. They got their own funding happening, and they went there, and sure enough, they found the city just as it was described underneath the water right off the coast of India. And that's just off the coast. I mean, just imagine, dude, this Earth has been here for what? 4-something billion years, right? I mean, and obviously humans haven't been here for that long, but the date is constantly being pushed back, right? At first we thought humans were only here for 100,000 years. Then it was 200,000 years. Now it's 300,000 years. And unless you listen to guys like Michael Cremo, which I do, who has all kinds of evidence who has uncovered archaeological evidence that has been swept under the rug that suggests that anatomically modern humans with modern tools, semi-modern tools, have been around for in some cases a few million years.
And then, they found pottery that's from thousands of years ago that has chemical residues for what could easily be a battery.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we have no idea what human history is. And Bob mentioned that, we don't know what our origins really are, for sure. I mean, I explored that in ages past, but that's straight out fiction. So, but at any rate, I had a lot of fun with that book though, because in that book I did the Nazca lines, I built the pier, I built the Sphinx, Stonehenge. I did all that kind of stuff in that story. Took the Pandora, which was the Earth, and split the continents apart, so we have what we have now. I did that in the story. Had a lot of fun with it, but again, straight out fiction. But but we don't know what our origins really, really are. We have no idea. They found, Bob says, they found my car keys to my Pinto. Yeah, just as long as you get rear-ended in a Pinto, those things were exploding back in the 70s. This is a gas tank mount. We don't know what our origins really are. I mean, it's, look at Dr. Robert Schoch and, John Anthony West. It's so disappointing we got like John Anthony West and Stanton Freeman, Jim Mars, and that are no longer with us. And to witness the UAP task force meetings stuff in Congress. It'd be so interesting to hear their thoughts on that now.
Oh, what a good point. That would be interesting to hear. Man, too bad they aren't alive. Well, I mean, Robert Schoch is still here, but the other ones.
Yeah, he's still with us.
Too bad they're not here to watch this go down. So, but what do you think, Pat? How, if you had to guess, Pat, Mr. Elfman, how long do you think humanoid beings on this planet have been building structures? How far back do you think that goes?
Well, my thoughts is, at least a million years, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier about the ocean and stuff, man, I think if we're going to look for our origins, it's going to have to be underwater. Because if you think about it, they all have the flood story. There was at one time no water on the top. You know what I'm saying? When it rained, it flooded the earth. That's how come we're finding these civilizations underneath the water.
Right.
Now imagine the deeper we get into the oceans, what are we going to find? Because if you think about it, the deepest part would be pretty much where civilization would build back then. I mean, they're not going to climb up friggin' mountains, miles high.
Right. There's a biblical thing on that where I think it in the Old Testament where hold on. Excuse me. In the Old Testament where it talks about the Great Flood, that that some theories in Christians, some Christians have this in theology where the landmass split apart. So we might have been, the Great Flood might have been the continents where they are now might be a result of the Great Flood, but where the landmass split apart and a wall of water shot up, and before the Great Flood, that the Earth was encompassed with a canopy, like a mist, because it didn't rain, and all the moisture came from the dew in the morning for the plants. So when the land split apart, a wall of water shot up from the firmaments of the earth, the deep of the earth, and ruptured the canopy of the earth. And that water mixed with the canopy of the earth created the clouds and the storms and everything that we have now. And then we have the rain for 40 days and 40 nights, but we have the rain that flooded the earth. If the continents were moving apart, that would have created huge, massive tidal waves, I would assume. One theory, I think, Pat, and you use that, the land masses moved apart over the millennia, over hundreds of millions of years. Is it possible that the land masses actually moved apart? One theory was they traveled at about 35 to 45 miles an hour across what's now the Atlantic Ocean and slammed into the Pacific Plate, which is why we have all the fault lines and earthquakes along the eastern coast or western part of the United States, or the Americas, let me say the Americas, and that they actually traveled about 35 to 45 miles an hour, and then that part of the landmass slammed in to the Pacific, what's now the Pacific, and that pushed up all the mountains and everything. That's one theory that's been out there, but there's not, I don't know how much science there is really to back that up. But at any rate, but yeah, it's possible that, the Earth was encompassed with a canopy. The landmass was split apart for whatever reason, meteor impact, just plate tectonics under the Earth, volcanoes, whatever. And that wall of water shot up from the deep of the Earth and ruptured the canopy and mixed and formed the storm clouds, and we had the rain. That's a real strong possibility. What do you think, Pat?
I don't know where the water came from. It's all theories here and there, but all I'm saying is if we're going to find the origins, it's going to have to be under the water, because that, to me, would be the oldest part of the land and oldest part of civilization, I believe.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. And
you got to remember, though, the one thing I love about the Torah, you call it the Old Testament, but it's actually the Torah. But anyway, one thing I love about that, and I used to piss preachers off pretty good with this one, because here's my thing. Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, all of a sudden, Cain kills Abel, and then they send Cain out of the garden. Well, my question was, why did they mark him? So people wouldn't hunt him down. But my question is, if it was just those four, what people are they talking about?
Yeah, there were other people on the earth at the time of Adam and Eve.
Yeah. And there you go. That's my thing. The Bible's a great book. The Torah, New Testament, all that's good books. But it's all just, it even shows you that there was stuff before them. That's the whole reason I was saying that. That proves that there was things here before they were here.
Is it possible that Adam and Eve were isolated from everybody else because they had their Nomen DNA altered by aliens? Is that possible?
Yeah, that's a good theory. It's all theories. We don't know until we know.
Well, I don't know if we will know, but yeah, these are very interesting theories. And
yeah. See, here's my thing. What's the oldest writings? If you want to go by, science, they say cuneiform's the oldest writing that we have. But then again, what about other stuff that was wrote before then? How do they even know? See, that's my thing, man. Look at all the stories. Which one is the beginning?
And a lot of these stories are all really extremely similar. You look at this, Pat, for example, whether it's, the ancients in Australia, the continent of, people think Africa, they think nation. That's a continent. It has nations within it. It's the continent of Africa, Europe, or whatever. They all look at the stars and they connect the dots in the same way. And some I can see why, because there's not other stars around, but they still connect the dots all in the same way. And a lot of them all use descriptions of similar animals in connection to those stars. So, and a lot of them might have even similar stories to those stars, but, the cultures are continents apart from each other. But yet the dots are connected similar for the stars. And some of them have similar animal descriptions for the stars, similar stories of mythology and that. So, but yeah, I think that, there's some truth in there somewhere.
The other thing about with writing, the one thing you've got that people don't realize, and, it is how it is, but you got to remember there's cultures that never wrote things down. Everything was an oral tradition. Look at the American Indians. Most of them were all oral, which means they handed it down and handed it down. Well, think about how many generations did we have before things actually got wrote down.
Yeah, they just found that skull in Minnesota that was like 4,000 years old, I think it was. And at first they thought it was like a murder scene, and then they dated the skull. It was like 4,000 years old. So they returned the skull to local Native American tribes, per the law. But yeah, so Yeah, we just don't know. I mean, even before the Native Americans, we had man, they came from the France area. Doesn't mean they were French. It was a race of people that were there before the French that are there now. Dystonians? Dystopians?
Oh,
I might be getting
I know what you know what he's trying to say, Pat, don't you?
Yeah, they came over on icebergs, floating ice, and their boats, and we found evidence that they were here. I mean, we got, spearheads, arrowheads, pots, and all things like that along the eastern seaboard, Canada especially, and parts of the United States. So going inland, couple hundred miles inland. So, so that all the Native Americans came through the land bridge between Alaska and what's Russia. Well, that may have happened, but we also had them coming across the Atlantic. So that there's so much that gets, stuff is. We have to be open-minded. We can't do like, Egypt did when John Anthony West and Dr. Robert Schoch went out there and redated the Sphinx, it's like 10, 20,000 years old. They got all upset, No, it's not. No, it's not. Well, it is, I mean, everything is, the evidence is there to support that. So, but yeah, we just don't know much about human history.
And plus, and then also you got to think about Göbekli Tepe. I mean, that's 12,000 years ago. And that's just when it was intentionally buried. We have no idea when that was built. That could have been built 10,000 years before that. And
we have no idea why they buried it.
I would imagine well, here's the thing, is they buried it right before the Ice Age. Yep. So, what if they knew the Ice Age was coming and they wanted to preserve... Because think about it. If you're going to preserve knowledge for a future generation after an Ice Age, how are you going to do that? Are you going to write things on a piece of paper? No, that's going to be destroyed. Are you going to carve it into the side of a rock? Like, no, that thing's going to be pummeled. The only way to preserve that is to bury it. I think they buried that intentionally. But what's really interesting is there's no tools found around there. There's no nothing. I think and to construct something like that, you need to have mathematics, you need to have organization, you need to have, it's not like a bunch of hunters and gatherers just lifted a couple of stones and put it there and voila. No, this was a construction project that must have had blueprints and planning. And those blueprints and planning probably got destroyed during the Ice Age, but they at least saved the structure so that we could know, hey, we were here before you, and there was a time before this.
Yeah, that's one thing that bothers me, is that, in some Native American tribes, they do this. And the bothering is that when we find bones that are 10,000, 20,000 years, 23,000 years old, because I think Fletch is making it, the footprints in New Mexico just recently dated back that far, that they found. When we get old bones like that, whether it's Kennewick Man, let's do some DNA testing and go beyond DNA and down to the gnome. Who were they? Where were they from? Because then we can maybe link it and see how diverse humans were across the planet at the time. Did they have European ancestry, African ancestry? Did they have Asian ancestry, Middle East ancestry? But then the bones are found in the Americas somewhere. Let's do some DNA testing, but a lot of time it gets blocked by various local natives and cultures because they just no, don't do that, don't do that. And it's not going to destroy the fact that the Native Americans were here before the Europeans came over, and did what they did. It's not going to destroy that fact, but it would be nice to know more about our history. It really would be. I think it would be fantastic. that we need to really be doing this kind of research. And when does the James Webb Telescope come online? Is that in June or July? Do you know, Gigi? James Webb Telescope comes online?
Oh, I thought it already was.
Partly online, right, but it's not doing the massive deep pictures that we're going to see that they're going to be making public.
That must be. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they're throwing us some images which are test shots.
Right. Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing test shots, but they're not doing the deep imaging. I'm going to try and type it. If you hear me typing, that's what I'm doing. So, James Webb Telescope. Okay. All right. Hang on, I'm looking it up. So, what do you think about the internet? Okay, there's live. Okay. All right. I'm trying to see when we're going to get first images out of there. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, the first real, not test images, but the first real deep images.
Should be pretty soon.
Yeah, I think it's July, but I could be wrong. Because right now we're just getting some test images that are not like the deep look that we expect. It would be funny if they're looking through that telescope and they spot some giant city in space or something floating around out there. I doubt they'd tell us. I really doubt they would be telling us. See, events. I mean, look. I'm at the NASA website, so I'm just trying to figure out when it's. They actually gave a date, and I thought it was July, but I could be wrong. Is when it's considered to be officially live. So the launch on December 25th. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. It's supposed to go live though pretty quick. Like real soon.
It's definitely this. Yeah, because like I said, I thought it was already happening, but if not already, it should be happening pretty soon.
Yeah, everything we're getting now are just test images. Oh, IDP, IDP dish says it's late June. So, yeah, they did DNA tests on Kinder Morgan, but that took a lot of court stuff to get it. I forget what the DNA tests were on that. Off the top of my head, because there's so much, we're getting bombarded with so much information all the time. We went from the industrial age to the information age. But yeah, we're just bombarded with everything so bad. And let me give that number out, because we're going to go on break here again in a minute.
Yeah, we're about to go to break. Elfman, feel free to, if you want to keep hanging out, feel free to stay on. If you got a boogie, that's all cool too. Whatever you want to do, it's all good. And,
call-in number is 928-208-4464. 928-208-4464.
And we'll post that again in the chat room as well. Actually, can you do that, Casper?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I got the speakers.
All right, and with that, yeah, let's go ahead and take our next commercial break. When we come back, more open lines and more whatever. We're just hanging out around the campfire here over at Shift Happens. And ladies and gentlemen, you are listening. There you go. Listening to Shift Happens here for the Fringe FM. I'm your host, Gigi. We are joined tonight by Casper Parks for another edition of Talking Shift. And we'll be back here with more open lines and your questions and your calls in just a few short commercially minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Thousands of people are having paranormal experiences with ghosts, demons, shadow people, dogmen, Bigfoot, and more. Their stories need to be told, and they are being told. Dark Waters, the renowned storyteller, invites you to join at IamDarkWaters.com. For just a few dollars a month, you can listen to some of the most hair-raising and compelling stories on the planet. You'll have access to real-life stories told by Dark Waters, thousands of hours of content. Their encounters are being told, and told by the best, at IamDarkWaters.com. Listen to stories like The Rabbit Man, the Dogman encounter in Silas, Alabama, the man with no face, the other woman, a day ahead of the devil, Dogman murder in Hurricane Ida, even a story of someone trying to kill a dogman. Louisiana water demon stories. Sign up today and become a member at IamDarkWaters.com. That's IamDarkWaters.com.
Are we living in a simulation? Listen live each week as we expand our awareness and explore the multitude of mysteries in this world. Escape the simulation live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern with me, Jess Rogie, here on the Fringe FM, KTLK Digital Broadcasting.
Musicians experience a lot of frustration with music marketing and promotion. They have no idea how to get their music heard, and they're spending hours sending emails, making phone calls, and hitting up their friends to promote them. With our industry-powered digital marketing platform, we can set up your media plan in minutes. Our team will automatically distribute your music across all the best channels, so you can focus on actually making the music. Submit your music today on our website at mymusicpromoter.com. That's mymusicpromoter.com.
Hey, this is Anthony Tyler, host of Black Hoodie Alchemy, and you are listening to The Fringe FM.
Listen, as we explore the mysteries of the universe, the unknown, high strangeness, consciousness, and our human potential. Lighting the Void is an eclectic program that strives to ignite the late night with stimulating conversations. Join us on The Fringe FM.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Have you suffered in silence or experienced stress from a paranormal experience? Even if it happened 20 years ago, when thinking or talking about it today still makes you feel sick to your stomach or makes your heart beat faster, or you suddenly can't breathe. Maybe you even feel those old familiar signs of a panic attack trying to reach the surface. You could have unprocessed emotional responses. Those reactions of terror and trauma are no different than living through a horrible assault, childhood abuse, or a terrible car accident. It can be nearly impossible to find help. The very instance of seeing a ghost or encountering a cryptid could be clinically described as seeing or hearing things that aren't there. You could be considered psychotic, or at best, you're just not taken seriously. Out of a growing mountain of research, the National Institute for Integrative Healthcare showed that 8 out of 10 veterans who completed just 6 one-hour EFT sessions no longer tested positive for PTSD. If you've had paranormal trauma, you can contact Metaphorical Archaeology by calling 214-995-3754. Again, that's 214-995-3754 for a discreet consultation.
This is Tom Sherman. Down here at Banning College, we're promoting a blood drop. Oh, shit.
Welcome to the Sound of America. You're listening to AM 580. Lay back with the sheep. Little lamb, little lamb, little lamb, little lamb, little lamb, little lamb.
Steve sold Adam the apple. Don't me so to my face! Sinners cannot be saved. Follow me and I will. Good to know that he's walking with me. Big rock is a weapon.
The devil is a black stone.
True. Into the fog. Let him cast the first stone. Jesus. And you have fallen into the love that needs to be designed by the Lord. Hallelujah, y'all. I want to hear a couple of hallelujahs.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the Fringe FM, this is Shift Happens. I am your host, Gigi, and we are here tonight with another edition of Talking Shift. And we are joined tonight, our Talking Shift guest host for this edition is none other than guerrilla novelist Casper Parks. What's up, Casper?
Yeah. Holiday weekend, if you're out in the U.S., if you're out and driving, please don't drive cars, something like that.
All right. Oh, and we have, pardon that annoying loud-ass sound that Skype refuses to fix. We do have a caller from area code 816. Who art thou?
818.
Or is it 818?
No.
It is 818. Area code 818. Who art thou? You're live. 818. You are live on the show. Let's hear your voice. Let's go. Okay. Maybe he can't,
hear us.
Well, he should be able to hear us. They, she, he / she, whoever it is.
I don't know anything about Bigfoot, so sorry.
You hooking me in?
What? Yes, you're live. You're live. Hello.
He was there a minute ago.
Yeah, he was right there.
GG.
Scott! Is that you? You gotta say something, buddy.
Can you hear me, GG?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It is me, but some sort of delay going on here.
Yeah, that's weird.
Call you right back.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, call us right back.
Yeah, Pat, I don't know much about Bigfoot. He's asking in chat. I really don't know a whole lot about Bigfoot. Cryptoids really aren't my thing that much. I don't really know a lot about them. You know, when you look at it, you think that, like, you know, the werewolf stories and stuff like that, I guess you can almost call it cryptoids.
Well, I guess you would, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And, well, at least we went, I mean, I've seen it with television films so often where, you know, vampire stories, like, they'll roll in phases for, like, about 3 to 5 years. There'll be vampire stories everywhere, and often they'll be gone again, you know. I'm burned out on that kind of stuff. All right, Scott, are you there?
I am here.
All right, there we go. What's up, buddy?
I don't know what that was all about, really trippy. How you guys doing?
Fantastic, man. It's good to hear your voice, man. It's been too long.
Yeah, buddy. Been way too long. We got to get together, do some drinking, buddy.
Absolutely, my friend. Yes.
Dude, the intensity is in the air. I mean, everywhere. In business, in rock and roll. It is crazy. The other night, decided to go with my buddy, who is Jeff Scott Soto. He sang with Yngwie Malmsteen, and Yngwie played Friday night at the Canyon Club up here in Agora.
Oh, nice.
So we go up there. We're hanging out with some few friends and stuff, and Yngwie sent some security guys out to the audience and said, hey, he's not going to hit the stage unless this guy, and he points to me, and he points to Jeff Scott Soto, leave the club. Oh, my God. We had to leave the club. I couldn't believe it, dude. This guy's a jerk, man.
Dude, well, that kind of reminds me of how we probably should have been kicked out of the Bob Lazar premiere.
Oh, yeah. But this goes, but for Yngwie, it goes a lot deeper because Jeff Scott Soto used to sing for him on a couple albums. And he came and did some backup stuff on our record, which is actually going to be re-released again pretty soon. You're coming up real soon. I'll make sure you get a copy of it. It's really cool stuff. The bio's really cool. But
yeah,
he had a big old fight with Jeff Scott Soto, and he didn't like me for the reason that Jeff came and sang on some of his parts on our record, and that was it. He wanted us out of the club, or he wasn't going to hit the stage.
Wow. Yeah. Can't make that up.
So that's not the that's the reason why I called, though. So I saw a thing. Eric the Awakening Man sent something over on Twitter, and it kind of got me thinking. This video, this is perplexing. I want to get your take on this as well as Casper's. That goddamn Skinny Bob video. Every time I see that, the eye blinkies, the facial movements, that thing is real. That's got to be real. And they said that these things, or the crash of this thing was part of these machines that came down were symbiotic. That basically those machines were not half, they were half alive and half machine. Is that what that really actually is? And can I get your take on that?
Who, me or Casper?
Both of you guys.
Oh, okay. You go ahead, Casper.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a Skinny Bob video in so long. I'd have to go look at it.
Dude, it's fun. I just saw it yesterday randomly on Twitter, but yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like the alien autopsy video, you know?
Yeah, it looks convincing enough. It surely does. But
it's different. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, it is very different. And it looks very convincing. But here's the thing. When you look at what they're doing now with stuff like deepfake, are you at all familiar with deepfake and that technology that's going on right now, Scott?
No, I'm not. I work 12, 15 hours a day. I'm a slave over here.
Yeah, you're a hard worker, my friend. But yeah, just the way that they are able to manipulate, I mean, they have the technology to... I don't even want to explain the whole thing. But, yeah, I don't know. At first I thought it was real, and then I thought it wasn't. But then I thought maybe it might be. And now I'm just kind of on the fence. I don't know. I'm on the fence.
But that wasn't that film old? It's old, right? That film footage?
Yeah,
supposedly.
I'm looking at it now.
Supposedly.
The mannerisms. Yeah, I mean, Casper, look at the mannerisms of this thing. Look at the way it's moving its neck, its eyes flashing. It doesn't look robotic in any way.
And I will tell you this. If that footage is from as old as they say it is, animatronics were not that impressive at that time. Like,
I know.
Not
exactly.
even close. Not even close. So if that is really from that time, then, you know, we might be talking about something here, you know?
It really makes you question reality.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah, that footage is something special, I'll tell you. That just blows me away. Every time I see it, I go, you know what? I always pretend like is it fake or not fake? But then you look at it and go, man, that's something that looks like it's real. I mean, jeez. Everybody should get a second look at that and just question it all. Man, that's just insanity. It really is.
It's been around for decades, too.
And plus, for half a century, damn near. And
what throws me off when looking at it is, and it's not so much the head and the shoulders, and he's definitely wearing clothing, like regular clothing. His hands, you know, I'm looking at his hands.
Yeah.
And
long fingers.
Really long fingers, yeah. It's possible. I mean, because he's got a full on like jumpsuit on. You know, plus the eyes are blinking.
But that kind of goes. But Casper, that kind of goes to reports of what people see. These people come out and they got jumpsuits on. Like, I don't know, man. It just blows my mind every time I see it. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know the origin of that. I'd have to do some more research on it again to refresh my memory. It was
Well,
supposedly taken in the late 1940s or early 1950s, it says here. Supposed to be a gray alien.
That would have been at Wright-Patterson, right? Is where that footage was supposedly taken.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Was it that or Russian? Was that was it Russian footage or was that Wright-Patterson footage?
No,
right?
that's Wright-Patterson footage for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Really?
not Russian. I can tell you, it's not Russian. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's definitely American footage, and I'm pretty sure it was Wright-Patterson. But here's the other thing to think about. What if, because at the time, UFOs were all over the news at that time. This is a different time before now. Well, now UFOs are in the news now, but that's kind of a rare thing. But for the longest time, they weren't. But they were at that time. So what if they did, that is real footage, and, what if they decided to put it out under the assumption that most people would think it was fake? Because, there's that sort of unspoken rule that if you're going to do something or corroborate in some sort of misunderstanding to the public, you have to leave. There seems to be some sort of unspoken rule that you have to leave some breadcrumbs to what you're doing. That just seems to be the case. And what if they just put that out? What if that was real? And they just put it out and they put it out in a way to where people would think it was fake. So that way they got it off their chest, they put it out, but everybody thinks it's fake, so they can continue on with their misconceptions. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing
it
is...
does. It really does.
Yeah, and with the
The blinking of the eyes.
Yeah, it looks real to me, I think. If it's the footage is that old, looking at the cameras from back then, we had TV and we had good cameras back then, but they wouldn't have had a high quality, they wouldn't have had that type of camera probably at the base.
I mean, for example, look at the movie E.T. from the 80s. The animatronics in that movie, which was a Spielberg movie, highly financed, one of the most financed movies of all time, right? That didn't even look anywhere close to as real as this footage from back from the, what was it, the 50s? The 60s?
Yeah, late 40s.
Exactly my point. I mean, every time I look at this, I'm like going, something doesn't add up here. This is really... And your point might be right, Gigi. It might be something they threw out there or it got released and they're thinking it's so real that people aren't going to believe it anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is, as UFO hearings go further, if, a lot of the people that would have been involved with the cover-up are long since gone. The vast majority of them are long since gone. So, and there was a thing back in the 80s when Bush became the vice president, was because he had headed the CIA, was that Bush Sr. was heavily involved with Majestic 12 or Majak 12.
Right.
Which is very possible. He was head of the CIA, and he did make some offhanded comments like people aren't ready for it, people can't handle the truth kind of type of comments. It's really difficult to say. I'm going to go with it's probably legit. It got leaked out just because it's just the camera footage and everything, and the quality isn't the best. But again, taking it from the time era, the 1940s, early 50s, if someone just had a home camera, and they weren't supposed to be filming this gray alien to begin with. They just kind of filmed it because they smuggled it in. I don't know what the origins of that video are, where people say that video came from originally and who did it and who leaked it. I'm not sure what the origins of that are. I'd have to really do a deep dive on it. to see what the origins, supposed origins are of the Skinny Bob video. You know, and who took the video and who leaked it.
Well, apparently somebody just interviewed, what's his name? The guy that effed over Paul Benowitz. Doty. Richard Doty.
Richard Doty, yes.
Yeah, somebody just yesterday, maybe the day before, interviewed
That's what
him
I saw. That's
about
what I saw,
Skinny
Gigi.
Bob. Yeah, I didn't actually watch it. Did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah, so what'd you
And
think?
Doty said it was real. Doty said it was real.
He did. Oh, wow.
He said it was real.
Okay.
And I was like, what? But now, how does he know it's real? I mean, this is, I don't know, man.
Yeah, see, Doty's kind of a, you know, you really have to take anything Doty says with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and Luis Elizondo doesn't weigh in on stuff like this. I haven't heard.
Oh yeah, he sure. Plus, I don't think he would know. He wasn't around back
right?
then.
How would he know? Who would tell him?
Yeah, and why would they?
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a very big mystery. Hey, you know, this is Memorial Weekend. Do you guys get big into the Indianapolis 500?
No.
No, I'm a skateboarder, my friend. I don't know. If there's a video game version of it, I'll play it.
Well, my folks grew up around the Speedway track, and so we grew up every year going to the Indianapolis 500, and man, it's a special time for all of us to go down there. And I actually have my car. It gets in the parade the day before the race, and I have a 1962 Chevy Impala convertible, and they take that around in the parade, and they've been doing it for years.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a cool car. It was my grandfather's, and it's mint condition. And I think I'm going to take it out to LA here the following year here coming up soon. But all of us get together, all us Richards.
When is the
What's
race?
that?
What day's the race on?
It's on Sunday morning.
Okay.
Wait, for some reason I thought that was in Florida.
No, you're talking about the Daytona 500. This is the Indianapolis 500, the greatest race of the year.
Oh, duh, it's in the name, Indianapolis. Yeah.
I watched the race a few times over the years, but not recently.
Yeah. Well, you're from Michigan, right?
Yeah. And I've got access to YouTube TV, so I might be able to watch it on there. Plus, I don't know what network it's going to air on.
What if you don't mind me, what city are you in Michigan?
Me? I'm in Southwest Michigan. Kind of not too...
Southwest?
Yeah, betwixt like South Haven and Grand Haven.
Oh, shit. Yeah. My folks live in Grand Rapids there.
Yeah. I mean, I went to college in Grand Rapids. It used to be Grand
Rapids.
College? No, I used to be, Cornerstone. It's now called Cornerstone University. It was called...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was called something else back then. So,
yeah.
I'm going to look on here. We got to get off the air here in a minute. Don't forget, you got Gigi's website is shithappensradio.com. You can follow Gigi at GigiRabbit1 on Twitter and or Shit Happens Pod on Twitter. And I'm also up on Twitter. And my website's CastleParks.com. Okay, it's Sunday, May 29th. Wonder what station it's going to be on, though. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Probably, I don't know, ABC or something like that. I don't know. It's good. It's a great race over there. But, so Casper, do you hear anything about Bigfoot up there in Michigan still, or no? Are you getting any readings?
No.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because as you know, we talked about with Gigi and my family what we went through up there, and the Huron Forest was absolutely insanity. It never day goes by where I don't think about it. I'll tell you, it was crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
That's on NBC for the race.
Man, we might have to. I don't want to say redo, but revisit that episode with you and your brother and your dad.
That'd be great again.
That would be great, especially because, I mean, dude, that was like 3 years ago. We have such a bigger audience now. And and plus, I think when we did it on the B-side episode. We should do that on the main show, and and do it proper. So let's plan on doing that.
I mean, that was an intense. I can't get anybody to hear that story correctly as to what really actually happened and really get any feedback. It doesn't get any traction, but it actually happened, and it was that intense where we got a really good look at it. It didn't take off running, and the stuff that happened afterwards was even more crazier, and we literally had to get in the car and get the hell out of there. It was just mind freaking. It was really just crazy.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And yep, we are right out of time. So Casper already gave out.
I miss you guys. We got to get together sometime soon. Peace out.
You as well.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Scott, and we'll talk to you sooner than later, my friend.
You got it, Gigi. Take care, Casper. Bye-bye.
All right, cheers. All right,
we're closing out, and thanks for having me on, Gigi. I appreciate it. My last book, Accidental Destiny, good rock and roll story. Again, The Shift Happens radio.com, and then Shift Happens Pod on Twitter, and GG1 on Twitter, and then my website's CasperParks.com. So, and thanks for joining us. We really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And everyone that called in.
Yeah, thanks for everybody that called in, and thanks for everybody that hung out in both of the chat rooms. And you know the drill, Casper. We're going to hang out for a while after the show, so you stay right there. And with that, let's go ahead and sign on out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Shift Happens for the Fringe FM. This show is hosted and produced by yours truly, Gigi. You can follow me on Twitter at GGRabbit1, or more importantly, follow the show over at Shift Happens Pod. Associate producer is Brad Harris. You can follow him on Twitter at ADS Brad Harris. And of course, JP, our usual co-host who couldn't make it tonight. You can follow him on Twitter at Reperception. And of course, our roaming reporter, Eric Awakening Man. You know where to find him. I don't need to tell you. And of course, all blames and faults go to Fran. That's right. Hashtag Fran's fault. All right, thanks for tuning in, folks. But don't go too far, because coming up next, right here on the Fringe FM, is Lighting the Void with Joe Roop. All right, folks. We'll see you next week with Austin Shippey. All right. Take care, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.